So let's go into these ABCs. I hope you guys are tracking with me. I know this is a lot of content, but it's important, and hopefully you all are getting it, okay? So the ABCs of the music business, and this is from an artist-centric perspective. I wanna say that you may have your own ABCs, okay? This is not the end of all the ABCs. These are just the ones I came up with because I was looking for some ABCs of the music business and I couldn't find any. And so I said, look, why don't I just do it? And so these are the ones that resonate with me. And by all means, make your own, okay? Okay, nice. So A is for artists, okay? You are the reason we have a music industry, okay? And there are lots of other things that go into that artist for the A, but there is no industry without you. Suffice it to say that, okay? So you are super important because everything is surrounding you in our industry, okay? B is for business because the music business is a business like any other business. We have to see it as a business. This is not a play thing. You're doing something that generates billions and billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars, okay? So this is a business, okay? This is not a charity. This is not a nonprofit. We are in a business that is a for-profit business, and we are making millionaires by the days, okay? So let's see it as a business, all right? So C is for creative control. Without creative control, creating isn't as rewarding. Creative control is everything. It's the one thing to never give away as an artist. And it's in most documentation when you sign as recording artist to a major label. They normally want that creative control because it lets them know that they can have the final say. So with this, you want to do everything you can, like you said, to make yourself valuable so that you have the final say. And you do that by never giving up your creative control, okay? Nice. D is for distribution. All right. This is it. Distribution is your access point to the listening public. The music industry is summed up pretty much in distribution. Like distribution is everything. It's the facilitation of the music to the listener. Okay. So distribution is the biggest thing we have going for us. And that is what the D stands for. E is the entertainment attorney. And we might as well make that entertainment attorneys because these are essential members that we must have in our brain trust, especially as an independent artist. You need that entertainment attorney. You need an entertainment attorney and a strategist. Those are pretty much the two people you need. You may need a financier depending on how that goes, but I just told you that the money comes from the music. So even that is something you could put off. But that attorney and that strategist, those two probably are pretty high up on the list, but certainly that attorney is going to keep you out of hot water. And I consider them to be essential members of our music brain trust. And that's what the E stands for. The F stands for fan, and I know a lot of people don't like the word fan, so we say your listening family. So F can stand for a family as well. And this is your lifeline in music. We've talked about the 1,000 true fans. That's actually one of our premises for our LearnMBE curriculum. And it basically says that if you have these true fans, that you can give yourself a sustainable career just by engaging your fan base. And they call them super fans or true fans. And these are the people that are monetizing everything. You can monetize everything you do with this group of people. Basically, they're gonna patronize everything you do. You put out a single, they're gonna get it. You put out a t-shirt the same day, they're getting it. A bracelet, they're buying it. Anything, they're buying it. And so that's why nurturing these fans to become true fans and super fans is super important. And F is for fan. Nice. G is for global because music is global. Okay. Remember, 181 countries signed the Berne Convention. Now, when we start talking about this, it's mind blowing because essentially this means that there are 181 countries right now that you are probably getting paid in or could be getting paid in and may or may not be collecting that money. You know, that's 181 places. That's a lot of places that your music may be getting heard and you may not be getting paid. But the fact that it's there emphasizes what the G stands for, which is that our industry is global, okay? Global. It's not local, it's very much global. H is hit record because it all starts with a record and any record can become a hit. That's the fun of it, right? We just talked about we don't get to decide, the public decides and they decide off of that record, you know, and I just like putting hit in front of it because it's such a cool thing, right? And we talk about ways to take a hot record and turn it into a hit record, but the hit record is what everybody's looking for, right? And you never know, any song has a chance of becoming that hit, okay? So H is for hit record. I is for independent, okay? This is important because all majors started out as independent. You know, don't downplay yourself or belittle yourself and say, I'm independent, I want to sign to a major. Well, years and years ago, those majors were independent, looking for artists, just like you. and that's how they became majors. Okay, so independent is everything. All right, and even though you're independent, you're not alone. Okay, you're not by yourself. Okay, you're in an industry that supports independence, and that's exactly what we're here to do today. Okay, so all major labels started out as independents. J is for joint venture. This is a really good one because I just said you're independent now. How do we deal with this? Well, the independent nature now allows you to go into these joint ventures. Okay, so this is how we do business. Look at every deal, play, or collaboration as a joint venture. These are all joint ventures. It is you as your label, your indie artist, going to do a joint venture with another indie artist or with a label or with a major label or what have you, but it's a joint venture. See it as that because it sets you free and it maintains your autonomy. Okay. Uh, K, and this one's challenging, but K is for Kesha's fight. And I've tried to find other Ks, but this one just really, really, really sits home. It's such a thing, okay? And we need to acknowledge Kesha's fight, whether it is or whether it isn't what it was presumed to be, because the fact that it's even a thing lets us know how bad business can be. And if you don't know about Kesha's fight, do a little bit of research. But essentially, she was raped and still forced to, follow out her carry out her recording agreement with the guy who raped her. And whether or not it happened, all the evidence says it does. But the fact that she was still required to carry out the agreement was just like, wow, are you serious, guys? This is our industry. This is our industry. All the evidence said the lady was raped, and we're still like, yeah, get in the booth and record. It's a weird place. Okay. So, but the Kesha's fight is to remind us of how bad our business can be. It can be bad. Okay. And I mean, we have the stories, TLC. I mean, we have all the stories, but you can substitute any K here. Think about Kurt Cobain. He lost his life to our industry. And he was adamant about his fight with the major labels and not wanting to be seen as a slave or not being treated as a slave. Well, how many times we've heard the slave word come up in our industry? Prince and all these other people, but Kurt Cobain gave his life, and so it's one of those things that we can't overlook and just keep it going. Avicii and all these other people that have given their lives to our industry. Okay, so it can be a bad place. All right, but the L is for the legacy plays. Okay, and this is to remind us of how good our business can be. This is the only business where you can work your entire life in this business and then sell your entire catalog for more than the average person will ever see in their lives. Isn't that remarkable? You can do everything you like to do and then cash out at the end of it for all of your descendants, for everyone that's coming behind you. Like, this is amazing. And so, there's not too many places you can do that. And our industry happens to be one of them. So L is for legacy plays. And this gets you worked up and excited about what you possibly can do with your music in our industry. And we have like Bruce Springsteen, Bob Dylan, Tina Turner, and all these other people that have done legacy plays. Okay. M is for music creators. Okay. Now, this is aside from the artists. The music creators, these are the other people, but they're artists in their own right. Okay. These are the people who help to create the music. They're the writers, the engineers, the vocalists, the producers, and the people who go unrecognized. They're separate from the artists, but they do all these other things. And I like to say they are artists. Like, there's an art to producing. There's an art to writing the right songs. There's an art to having the right vocals and knowing how to use your voice. I like to say they are artists, but we like to classify them as music creators. Okay. And that's what the M stands for. And they represent the reason we're able to do what we are doing today. Okay. Because of those music creators. N represents network. Okay. And these are the people and organizations who don't create music. Okay. These are all they're playing the supporting cast. Remember I told you about the supporting role. This is what these people represent, and they play a pivotal role in bringing music to the marketplace. So we can't overlook the network. The network is super important. These are our people. We need our network because without them, we don't have our fans. Without them, we don't have our executives. Okay, we don't have the people that are putting on the shows, our venues, all the other cool things that come that allow us to participate in music that's happening in our network. Okay, so O, which is a big one I stand by, is for ownership. Okay, ownership is the only thing that matters in the back office. Ownership is the only way you can do a legacy play. You can't do it without ownership. Okay, so ownership's super important. It's one of the things we want to make sure that we're holding on to and not giving away as we move forward in our industry with paperwork, not paying attention to the fine print. Okay, so O is for ownership. P is for publishing. Music publishing is the exploitation of a song's composition's copyright. Okay, so basically, publishing is our pipeline to the profits. The way we see it is that publishing takes the music and turns it into money. Okay, so distribution gets the music from the computer to the ear. Publishing takes the music from the ear to the pocketbook. Okay, so that's what's helping us to make that conversion. Okay, so publishing is that direct pipeline to the profits. Okay, so Q is the quota. Okay, and this is super important because when you see it as a business, pretty much most businesses have quotas. You're not going to be in business very long if you don't at least meet the quota, and so business is no different. We have quotas. Okay, every major distribution deal, the deal of all deals, comes with a quota. Okay, and the quota is basically a minimum number of projects to release. Okay, and so you got to get used to this. You got to get yourself just set on meeting a certain amount of records, a certain amount of projects, a certain amount of releases, so that you can operate with ease under that quota. Okay, so R is for royalties. Royalties are payouts, and royalties are a form of exchange for the artist. Okay, so music into money. Okay, so the royalties is what's keeping you alive. All right, so that's how you're able to do your music and know that you're going to eat at the end of the day. And these royalties aren't subject to our debate. Like, they're not subject to my opinion. They're not subject to if you want the money or not. It's being generated. That's why we have a black box. Okay, there's all these people that think oh, well, there's no money attached to my music. Yeah, it is. It's in the black box. Okay, so these royalties is just, they're not going anywhere, right? But this is our way. This is that exchange, our way for the artist to turn music into money. Okay, royalties allow the artist to turn music into money. Okay, sales. Okay, sales. A label's primary objective is to sell the music. The only reason you need a label is because the label is going to sell the music. All right, the label is our front face in the marketplace. Okay, now the sales are a form of exchange for the fan. Okay, so the fan of your listening family, they get to give you money for the music. Okay, so that's their exchange. They take their money, they give it to you, and then you give them the music. Okay, so we don't want to take away the royalties because that gives you money, and then we don't want to take away the sales because that gives the music to the fans. Okay, so they're all going together, and we need them to go together. We need to realize how synergistic this whole thing is, and there's really no way for you to not be a music exec in some right, just because of the way our industry is intertwined on the artistic and the non-artistic side, or the creative and non-creative side. So the T is for traction. This is our thing. This is our currency. Okay, so traction is the music industry's currency. Traction is a form of exchange for the label or the publisher. This is their traction. Okay, so traction is trackable energy into money. Okay, so the label or the publisher, they come to you and they say, look, we can do this. We can get these placements. We can move it over here. I can put it in this store. I can get you these performances. And so they're doing all these cool things to turn it into money. Okay, so they're getting you these shows, they're getting you these placements because it brings in money, but they're not giving anything in exchange other than their trackable energy. Okay, because you created the music, so now they're not giving the music, that's what you created, but they're adding in that trackable energy, which allows the music to get to its rightful place, and then the money to make it home to you. Okay, and obviously they're going to take a cut of it because that's what they do. But T is for traction, our industry's currency. U is for understanding. Okay, you will need understanding to deal fairly with one another. Okay, as an independent doing joint ventures, it could be easy for you to not be fair. Okay, but understanding will allow you to see that other independent is the same as yourself, like another artist that is just looking to win in our industry, and you'll need that understanding to help you see it that way. You'll also need basic understanding of how things work in the industry. Okay, V is for vigor. Vigor and vitality are required in the music business. Okay, to achieve victory, you need this. Okay, it's not going anywhere. There's a belief in our industry that the people that washed out early, like the industry wasn't for them. Okay, like they washed out, they didn't have it. It wasn't for them. Okay, and so that's where that V comes into play. We need it so we can stay in the game and get what's rightfully ours. Okay, so the W is work made for hire. All right, it's very similar to that C of the creative control. The work made for hire is an agreement that can give you everything and also take everything from you. Okay, proceed with caution. This work for hire, it's either going to make you the owner or it's going to make you, just work for hire. Okay, so this is a very important agreement, and make sure that you are aware of it and be careful about signing it. Okay, work made for hire, and that is our W. X is Xennial. It's going to say X right here, but Xennial I think serves better because artists must exhibit Xennial traits towards the listening public to create superfans. That listening family must be very Xennial towards them, must be very warm towards them and welcoming. You can't be high-minded and that stuck up. You have to be very warm and welcoming to these listeners because you never know which one of them is your listener, your super fan. Okay, so you want to exercise Xennial qualities. Okay, and the Y is for yes. Be more yes than no in our industry to open yourself up to greater opportunities. Okay, be more yes than no. Okay, don't be the artist's no, no. Be yes, and then you'll have a chance to say no to those things that you like to at a later date. Z is for zero. You'll receive zero royalties if you never release your music the right way. Okay, it's just part of it. If you don't set yourself up to receive, how are you going to receive it? If no one knows that music belongs to you, how can they pay you? Okay, so zero. Okay, zero is also the number of artists actively practicing LearnMBE steps to the traction process and not receiving royalties. Okay, it's impossible. Our steps to traction process is foolproof, and it's the way to win. Okay. All right, nice. So you can use these alphabetical concepts to simplify the music business. Remember, keep it simple.